and a strong hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's our aim? Extending on yesterday. Annalise. Cool. Simplifies your keywords. And yesterday, we looked at perfect squares. Square what? Square roots. Wow. What is different about A and B? If you looked at gold yesterday, you probably already previewed this. Take 10 seconds to glance at A. If I were to simplify the root of 8, what is weird about that number? Turn and talk to your partner. 20 seconds. Go. Yeah. 3, 2. What is weird about that number? You could probably plug it into a calculator. It would give you some decimal. When I try to actually take like a perfect square from this, like I would for the root 9, what is weird about taking a square root? Root 8 is somewhere in the middle of that. Why is that strange? Milo, start us off. It doesn't have a perfect square. 9 and 4 are the perfect squares in between. The root of 8 is not a perfect square. If you notice that, this is why memorizing perfect squares makes your life a lot easier. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start factoring this. And inside of root 8, there is hiding a perfect square. Somewhere inside of here is a number that can jump out of the box. We're going to try to find it. Take 8, and let's start factoring it. 8 can be 4 and 2. I'm going to pause. Write a bigger square root sign and put 4 times 2. Alexis. At the gold, I previewed it with you. Yeah, there's a reason. I kind of teased it out. When you see 4 and 2 inside the square root, is there a perfect square somewhere in here? Kira, what is it?
Or the 4.
The 4 would become 2. So if you have a root 4, you can actually move the 4 outside of the square root. The square root of 4 is what, whole class? It's 2. Well, that 4 escaped. He's outside of the square root. What's the only number inside? It's a 2. Your simplest answer without a calculator is 2 root 2. You can't do anything else with that unless you get a calculator out. That is how you simplify it. I'm going to show you another method. If you don't like looking for square roots, you can simplify this entire thing and do the full factor tree. Do 2 and 2. So my factors are 2, 2, and 2. I'm hunting for any double numbers. Well, there's a double 2. So I'm going to take this double 2 and put it outside of the square roots. Take your single 2 and put it inside. 2 methods. You can factor it completely, or you can search for perfect squares. Doesn't matter what method you choose, get one that's comfortable for you. B is slightly larger, but not too dangerous yet. Let's factor 18. Again, I'm hunting for perfect squares. What's my factors of 18? Start us off, Jillian. Do you see a perfect square? Silent yes or silent no? Whole class, there is a perfect square. What is it, Alexis? It's 9. So we have 9 and 2. I can pull out the perfect square. He escapes. What's the square root of 9, Kira Bentley? It's 3. Put 3 outside, put 2 inside. That's your answer. If you wanted to factor it completely, you could do 9 and 9 or 9 as 3 and 3. What's the only number that repeats twice? It's 3. You could take this number, put it outside square roots, and put the root 2. Same thing. Yeah, do black. Last one, root 40. There are times when the perfect squares are a little bit more hidden, and I think 40 might be that case. Let's factor the 40. What two numbers do you want to start with, Avery? Ooh, good choice. Avery started with a 4 and a 10, and you just found the perfect square, which is a 4. If you like the A method, like Avery, you're probably going to want to start with a perfect square. This would be the square root of 4, which is 2. 2 goes outside, root 10 is inside. Peyton. Yeah. Let's jot this down real quick because as the numbers get larger, your perfect squares will be a little bit harder to find. If I started with 20 and 2, you would do 10 and 2, and then 5 and 2. Once you get everything factored, you can start searching for double numbers. I have 2 2's. And then I have 1 2 and 1 5. What's the only number I can take out of the square root? I can take out 1 2. One of these 2's can go outside. Can the 5 or the other 2 go outside? No, that's not a double number that repeats, so it goes inside. 2 root 5 times 2. Is that the same thing as 2 root 10? 5 times 2 is 10. So this is the same thing. Okay. Yes. You could do 4 and 5 as well. It would be the same thing. Did you see a double 2? Yeah. Okay, let's try 2 more. They're slightly larger numbers. Before we move on though, let's vote. If you're thinking you like the perfect square method, that means you're hunting for like a 4 like Avery did with 4 times 10, that's a 1. If you like factoring it completely and looking for doubles, that's a 2. Show me what method you're leaning towards right now. It's going to be a mix. You don't have to be the same as your partner, yeah. I'm probably a 2 just because it's harder for me to think of perfect squares. If you're a 1, that's great, hands down. 180 is a really large number. Let's try to factor it. If you're the perfect square team, you might want to look for a perfect square that would factor immediately. Kira? Yeah, I always divide by 2 if I can. If you want to try factoring with something else, that's okay. With 90, what do you want to factor? 45. You could do 45 and 2. You could also do 9 and 10. It's up to you. Either way. I'm going to go with 2's because I like dividing by 2 if I can. 45 can't be divided by 2, but I could do 15 and 3. Then I can do 5 and 3. Okay, I'm doing method 2, so if you're trying to hunt for perfect squares, feel free to kind of branch off without me. What are some double numbers that appear? What are the 2 numbers that appear twice? Liliana?
2 and 3.
You have 2 appearing and 3 appearing. That means I can take 2 outside the square root and 3 outside the square root. They're going to end up multiplying 2 times 3. What's the only number left over, Jersey? The only number left over is 5. So 5 is trapped. 2 and 3 got to jump out. 2 times 3 is? Root 5 is the answer. Questions on how I got that? Kira?
I got 5 and 3, and we did the same.
5 root 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you put your 2's over here?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, so make sure that you're looking for both doubles. If there's any double, it needs to hop out. Let's try 200. Last one. Factors of 200. If you feel like branching out and doing it differently, that's okay. Give me one factor you'd use or a question, Jacob. Okay, so there's one more that you could have probably pulled out. Let's see what we did. When you got to 90, did you do 9 and 10? Okay, that works. Then keep factoring 20. 10 and 2. Okay, good point. So if you do find a perfect square, that's fine to pull that 3 out, but then keep going with the 20 to see if there's any other hidden perfect squares. With the 20, could I have done 4 and 5? Is there another hidden perfect square? The 4, yeah. So great question and clarification. You need to keep factoring even if you find that perfect square, just to be safe. Yeah. Okay. Let's do the 200 and tell me what part you're confused on. Is it because I'm showing you 2 ways to do it and you want just one way?
I don't know how you did a 6 and a 3.
Okay, so let's look at this way that Jacob did. We had a perfect square of 9. What did that become? Perfect square of 9 is 3. Okay, so that's the 9. What's the perfect square of 4? That's 2. Okay, I pulled out a 2 and a 3, right? So on the outside, I have 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So that 2 and 3 became a 6.
Oh, that would make so much more sense.
If I said that, yeah.
Oh.
Again, this is like end of 8th grade material you're getting right now. I'm just kind of feeding it to you so you're ready to launch in Algebra 1. But give yourself grace because it is tricky. 200 is factored. Give me 2 factors you want to start with, Claire. Sure. That's a great one. Do you see a perfect square? Is 2 a perfect square? Look at your chart. No. Is 100 a perfect square? Yeah, this one works. Let's take the perfect square of 100. It would be what number? Frankie? It's 10. Yeah, you could do 10 times 10. That leaves only a 2. 2 and 50. Are you factoring it completely? That's fine. You can factor it completely. We just hunted for the perfect square and we stopped at 100. Do you see how root 100 is a perfect square?
Yeah.
So I stopped there and I just pulled out the 10 immediately. Can I factor 2 at all? No, so 2 is safe to go inside. There. 10 root 2 should be your answer. Yeah. What's your perfect square used?
Well, first I got 10 with 10.
Okay, where's your other 10? Where's your other 10 that you found for the inside?
Well, I got 20 times 10. Oh, yeah.
Isn't 200 a perfect square?
1.
I was wondering if you happen to have a couple extra Dixie cups. And she wanted a couple more for them.
One more. Where's the other one that I put? I may have put in.
I think that's all I have. If I find any extras, I'll let you know.
Sure.
Thank you guys up there. We're just right next door.
Okay. Oh wait.
I was at my grandpa's house yesterday, and he was watching fruit mine, and this lady, this food, what is this?
No! For the first one, why?
Whitlock Wood.
Just take one of those. I do this to all of the pictures that you put. And I'll send them to you. I agree.
Did you get 4 on the outside of 5 is small for the first one? I got 2. You got 4? Yes. Why is it?
All this thing. Every single one of Sure. But as soon as you the supercar was in the fall through like a window.
Wait, so for this before. I know. Maybe it's one long ago. No.
Only one time.
I know.
It's not insane. That's what this is. You have to just be sitting there. And time just goes like 2%. What are we doing? This one?
No, one that's up there.
Hey, did you get it's 2 root 10. I got 5 root 2, so
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 choices. Like, you get number 3 songs, like, I'll do
Okay, thank you.
I'm kind of confused on this one. No, number 3.
You're good.
Mafia?
Can you run that over to me?
Five,
Maybe I'll
seven.
leave my car.
I'm gonna make sure my child middle lives on the story. I don't care what my child
Oh, wait. Well, yeah.
You too. A 15. So if you had 6. Almost 5 times 3.